4 championship points, 4 chances to make history, 4 moments where everything she'd worked for was sitting right there, close enough to touch, and every single one of them slipped through her fingers. That's where this story begins. Not on the manicured grass of center court, not in the Wimbledon draw. It begins 12 months ago on a smaller stage, in a match most of the world has already forgotten, but that neither of these two players ever will. So before we talk about what's coming this week, we need to go back. All the way back to June 28, 2025, Eastbourne. A WTA Tour final that flew completely under the radar for casual fans, but quietly changed the trajectory of 2 careers in ways nobody fully understood. At the time, Alex was barely a name back then. Ranked outside the top 60, unknown beyond the die-hard tennis community, and yet she was tearing through that draw with the kind of hunger you can't fake. And there was a reason for it. She was on the verge of becoming the first Filipina player in history to win a WTA Tour-level title. Let that sink in. Not just a personal milestone, a national one, carried entirely on the shoulders of a 21-year-old who trained thousands of miles from home, representing something much bigger than a tennis trophy. She dropped the first set, came blazing back to win the second 6-1, one of those score lines so one-sided it feels like the match is already decided. Then she stepped up to serve for the championship in the third set tiebreak. This was it, the moment she'd been building toward her entire life. On the other side of the net stood Maya Joint, 19 years old, a game that was still finding itself. But a competitive instinct that apparently was already fully formed, because what happened next is the kind of thing that lives in a player's head forever. Championship point. Joint saved it. Championship point again. Joint saved that one too. Third chance, gone. Fourth, gone. 4 separate match points, and every single time, that 19-year-old found a way to push the door back open. Then somehow, impossibly, she snatched the tiebreak 12-10 and walked off with the trophy. And Alex was left standing on that court, trying to make sense of something that defied all logic. That's not just a tennis loss. That's a scar, the kind that doesn't disappear. It just goes quiet. It sits somewhere in the back of your mind, waiting for the right moment to resurface. Well, that moment is now. Fast forward exactly 365 days. Same country, same grass, except the stage has shifted from Eastbourne to Wimbledon, the most sacred stretch of tennis real estate on the planet. And both players arrive carrying completely different stories than the ones they were writing a year ago. Alex comes in as the 29th seed, the first Filipina ever to be seeded at this tournament, ranked a career-high 32nd in the world, and playing what is genuinely the best grass court tennis of her life. Joint arrives ranked 87th, a number that tells you almost nothing about the earthquake of a season she's been through. 11 straight losses heading into this tournament. Rankings in freefall. An injury that wiped out 2 full months of her year. And then, out of nowhere, she walked onto center court and beat Serena Williams in 3 sets. In Serena's long-anticipated return to singles tennis. Nobody saw it coming. Not even, by her own admission, Joint herself. So here's the question that makes this second-round match genuinely fascinating. Which version of each player actually shows up when they look across the net at each other again? Do the rankings tell the real story? Or does something about being back in that same situation, same opponent, same stakes, same grass, pull something different out of both of them? Let's start with Alex, because her path to this point has been remarkable in every sense of the word. She opened the grass court swing at the Birmingham Classic and won the whole thing. Her second WTA 125 title, earned through a punishing 3-set final against Nikola Barnova that went 5-7, 6-3, 7-5. That trophy wasn't just hardware for the shelf. It was confirmation of something her coaching team at the Rafa Nadal Academy had been quietly engineering for over a year. Her left-handed game, that skidding serve, those flat penetrating ground strokes, is essentially built for grass. The low bounce suits her timing perfectly. The faster surface rewards her instinct to take the ball early and make opponents feel rushed before they're ready, and her net game, which can occasionally feel like an unnecessary risk on clay, becomes a genuine weapon on a surface where hesitation gets punished and aggression gets rewarded. From Birmingham, she headed to Queen's Club and ran straight into Evik, losing 6-2, 6-0 in a second-round beatdown that looked like a serious red flag on paper. But then she went to Berlin for the WTA 500 event and delivered the 2 best consecutive wins of her entire career. She took down world number 2 Elena Rykina 7-5, 6-4. Then dispatched world number 8 Elena Svitolina 6-3, 6-4 to reach the semifinals. Back-to-back top 10 wins on grass. For a player who had never beaten a top 10 opponent on this surface before that week, that's not progress. That's an announcement. She eventually fell to Linda Noskova in the semis and went out early at Bad Homburg. And that inconsistency actually tells us something worth remembering. Her ceiling on grass is legitimately elite. Her floor can still collapse without warning when she faces opponents who disrupt her rhythm rather than feed into it. Players like Rykina and Svitolina give her pace and structure she can redirect. Players like Jovic and Noskova smother her game before it ever gets going. The key question heading into this match: where does Joint fall on that spectrum? In her first round match here at Wimbledon, Alex looked every inch like someone who belongs on this surface. She dismantled her opponent 6-1, 6-2 in just 77 minutes, 22 winners, 16 of 21 net approaches converted, only 2 breakpoints faced all match, both saved. It wasn't reckless tennis. It was controlled aggression, the kind that comes from a player who knows exactly where each point is going and isn't second-guessing herself mid-rally. Her left-handed serve kept pulling her opponent wide on the ad side repeatedly, and every time a return floated back short, Alex was already moving forward to finish the point at the net. Serve +1, over and over. Right now, it's working like clockwork. Flip to Joint's side of the draw, and you get a completely different picture. Coming into Wimbledon, her 2026 record sat at 2 wins and 13 losses, 15%. Her ranking cratered from a career high of 28 back in February all the way down to 87. An injury after Indian Wells cost her 2 full months. And when she came back, nothing clicked. First round exits at Roland Garros at Nottingham. And then, with painful irony, right back at Eastbourne, the exact tournament she had won 12 months earlier. Her serve, which was never her strongest weapon to begin with, has completely unraveled this season. She's winning barely 46% of her service games, averaging under 1.5 aces per match, a first serve speed that ranks in the bottom 6% of the entire tour. And yet, she just beat Serena Williams on center court, not with a flawless, dominant performance, not with some kind of serving masterclass. She won because she simply refused to stop fighting. She took the first set 6-3, dropped a brutal second set tiebreak 8-6 when Williams flashed some of that vintage power everyone remembered, and then broke Williams 3 times in the deciding set to close it out 6-3. She chased down everything. She made Williams play 1 extra ball on nearly every single point. And in the moments that truly mattered, deep in that third set, it was Joint making clean. Confident contact while Williams' shots were drifting long and into the net. So what does that Serena win actually tell us about Joint going into this match? And just as importantly, what doesn't it tell us? What it does tell us. Whatever psychological weight had been suffocating her through that 11-match losing streak, walking onto center court and beating a 23-time Grand Slam champion, even a 44-year-old one returning after 4 years away, handed her something no training session or motivational speech ever could. Real momentum. The kind forged in survival rather than gifted in practice. In her post-match interview, she admitted she barely slept the night before, that her legs felt completely unresponsive during warm-up, that she honestly couldn't explain how she managed to start the match the way she did. That kind of raw, honest disorientation, followed by a 3-set win, suggests someone who discovered something during the fight. not someone who walked in already holding it. The question is whether she can find that same state again, 48 hours later, against a completely different kind of opponent. What the Serena win doesn't tell us, that Joint has actually fixed the issues that have been eating her season alive. Williams was playing her first competitive singles match in nearly 4 years. Her movement was restricted. Her coverage, while occasionally brilliant in flashes, faded visibly by the third set. Joint's baseline game worked because she was up against someone who couldn't sustain pressure over long exchanges anymore. Alex is 21. She has been competing every single week for months. She hits the ball with more consistent pace off the ground than Williams was generating yesterday. The speed coming off Alex's racket, especially that forehand and that left-handed serve, is going to be noticeably faster and far more relentless than anything Joint experienced in that first-round match. Tactically, almost every measurable factor points toward Alex. She's 5 inches taller. She hits flatter, which on grass means her shots stay lower, skid through the court quicker, and give opponents almost no time to set up. Her left-handed serve creates angles that right-handed opponents consistently struggle to handle, especially on the ad side, where she can swing it out wide to the backhand or drill it straight into the body. Joint has historically been a solid returner, but in 2026, she's been unable to put meaningful pressure on even average servers. And Alex is not an average server. It's not a first-strike weapon the way Raikkona's is, but it's awkward. Well-placed and precise enough to consistently draw short, weak returns, or steal free points outright on this surface. But here's where Eastbourne starts whispering again. The numbers said Alex should have won that match too. She was the better player for most of it. She dominated the second set so completely that Joint looked like she had nothing left. And then somehow, Joint found something. She found a way to absorb the pressure and redirect it. She made Alex feel the full, crushing weight of trying to close out a match she was already supposed to have won. Joint's greatest strength has never been one specific shot or one clever tactical idea. It's her almost stubborn refusal to accept that a match is over. Her ability to stretch out rallies just long enough to force one more shot than her opponent wanted to hit, to make the finish line look further away than it actually is. On grass, where points are shorter by nature, that quality has less room to operate. But it doesn't just disappear. Her backhand might be the single shot that keeps her alive in this fight. It's compact, well-timed, and she disguises her cross-court and down-the-line options better than most players ranked anywhere near her. If she can find a way to neutralize Alex's wide serves, either by stepping around them to attack with the forehand, or slicing her backhand return low and heavy to disrupt Alex's forward momentum, she has a legitimate chance to drag rallies into uncomfortable territory. Because Alex, for all her strengths, doesn't love being pulled into extended baseline battles on grass. She's at her most dangerous when she's dictating with her first 2 or 3 shots and finishing at the net. Every rally that extends past 7 or 8 shots is territory that starts to favor Joint's patience over Alex's aggression, and ultimately, the serve is probably going to decide this match. And here, the gap is enormous. Joint is winning fewer than half her service games this year. Against a player like Alex, whose return game has been sharpened by months of high-level grass court tennis and whose left-handed returns naturally generate awkward angles, Joint could find herself in serious trouble holding serve from the very first game, an early break. And this match could follow the same script as Alex's first round: controlled, efficient, over before the crowd has fully warmed up, but Joint has been here before. Specifically, she's been in this exact position, expected to lose to Alex, and came out the other side with the trophy. And that psychological residue cuts both ways. For Joint, Eastbourne is living proof. Real, tangible, undeniable proof that she can survive Alex's very best tennis and still find a way to win when the pressure peaks. For Alex, it's a memory that could plant just enough doubt at exactly the wrong moment. Picture it. Alex builds a commanding lead, goes up a break in the second set, and then Joint starts chipping away. Point by point, game by game. Does Alex tighten? Does the ghost of those 4 unconverted championship points creep back into her racket hand right when she needs it steady the most? Or has everything since Eastbourne, the Birmingham title, the wins over Räikkönen and Svitolina, the historic achievement of becoming a seeded player at a Grand Slam, given her enough hard-won belief to finally close the door for good this time? There's one more layer to this that people tend to underestimate: the physical and emotional cost of what Joint just went through. She spent 2 hours and 22 minutes in a 3-set war against Serena Williams. The adrenaline in a match like that is extraordinary. The kind of rush that carries you through an entire afternoon and then leaves you completely hollow on the other side. 48 hours is enough time to recover physically, maybe. Emotionally, that's a different question entirely. Joint poured everything she had into that center court performance, including the sheer mental labor of beating her childhood idol in front of a crowd that, if we're being honest, desperately wanted her to lose. That kind of expenditure has a cost, and it rarely shows up in the first set of the next match. It shows up in the third, when the legs go heavy and the mind starts drifting somewhere it shouldn't be. Alex, meanwhile, spent 77 minutes on court. She was barely tested. She walks into this match fresher, sharper, carrying the quiet, settled confidence of a player who controlled every single point of her opening round from the first to the last. And then there's the crowd. One final variable that adds its own texture to all of this. Wimbledon crowds are famously knowledgeable, and they adore an underdog story. Joint walks in carrying the reflected glow of that Serena upset, and that's going to mean something in the atmosphere. But what happens when that underdog starts losing? That's when things get interesting.